Hello everyone and welcome. I am LEA KAY, the founder of Love Tribe and a meditation teacher. Today I will have the pleasure of speaking to Anna Winkin, who is a new Love Tribe member and a teacher here on our platform. Anna will begin her sacred singing meditation sessions on the 6th of April. In today's conversation, we are going to explain what singing meditation is, understand what to expect from these type of practices, who can benefit from it, and lastly, meet Anna and connect with her wisdom. Now, Anna, over to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hi, Natalia. Thank you for the invite. I'm very glad to have that time with you and to have this opportunity to share with Love Tribe. Yeah, I am Anna Winkin. I am from Belgium, and I'm a singer-songwriter. Studied music in London, pop and jazz, where I met you, Natalia. And I'm also passionate about self-development and spirituality. And I'm lucky to have my mom, who was really into it when I was a teenager, since the beginning. And so along with her, like unconsciously, like at the beginning, she was always leaving books here and there or telling me about what she was learning in her trainings, because she trains as a sonotherapist. And it means she's doing massage and unlocking the emotional traumas in the body through the massage. Yeah. And what I was really interested into that, because I'm not passionate in massage is not my thing, but I'm very passionate about self-development and also just unlocking the traumas of the body and freeing yourself and growing inside and also going a bit like beyond sometimes the visible, because we have our body, but there is something more also. There is the energy that we can feel, and sometimes maybe your body will not show anything, but actually you are feeling something in your body and you can release it in some ways, like using any art or any techniques. I mean, there are loads of alternatives that exist to feel better. And
Yes.
And what I was passionate about in what my mom was doing was the ability to accompany people to free themselves, to accompany them to release the blocked emotions. And so with the time, I also trained myself. I took a bit of her training, and I also went to different conferences and events myself about singing mantras, which we're going to talk later. Singing mantras, self-development, being present to yourself and others, with lots of amazing teachers I've had the chance to have. And then with everything that I learned, I actually did a mix of everything, all the tools that I've had the chance to learn so far, and I used to use like singing to unlock the traumas and evolve and connect to your heart. So what I'm doing is I do my music for myself and my songwritings and everything. And also besides that, I like to help people individually and in groups to reconnect to their hearts, release the emotions with singing. And
that's really beautiful, Anna, because what you have created is essentially a form of therapy of your own. So it's a really very unique sort of experience that you have created for people who receive it, isn't it? You're bringing all your skills and knowledge into one basket. That's really wonderful.
Thank you. And that's very important to me, because, in the society, I believe that we are all unique and we have all our different calls in our heart, and sometimes it can be so hard because in the society we have blocks like medicine, engineering, secretary. I know, and it's so like it doesn't leave the space for yourself to create what's your heart is telling you. Sometimes it's so much out of the box, So I'm super happy and grateful that I'm able to be doing that for myself. And And I believe that if everyone is at the right place, and if everyone manages to follow their heart and reconnect to their heart and their true being, then they're going to create also that for themselves. And then we're changing the world, and, and that's what we want.
This makes me very happy, Anna, because this is precisely what we're here to do as Love Tribe.
Yeah.
It's to bring inner understanding and dive deep into people's subconscious to understand that we are so multifaceted and so much more broad than we allow ourselves to believe. And I guess my next question to you would be, is that what you focus on in your work? Is the idea of bringing people to the place where they understand that there is more to them than they perhaps might have believed previously?
Exactly. That is so funny, because I have different type of persons coming to me. Sometimes I can have person who are like, okay, I want to learn the techniques, vocal technique and this song, and they don't think about all the rest. And, and some people come exactly for this. Okay, I want confidence. I'm at a stage in my life where I'm a bit lost, and I think singing is going to help. And then we dive deep into the process straight away. And some other people, we start singing, and then the more we sing, the more I point at things. I'm like, okay, can you feel that sound vibrate? What does it feels like in your body? And then the person starts to reconnect slowly.
Beautiful.
And then after a couple of sessions, the person starts to tell me, you know what? I chose this job, and I think it doesn't make me vibrate. I need something else. Or what you told me last time, it really takes like in my mind, and I think I need to dive deeper in that. And then we have some magical moments happening in the in the session, and then people start a part of their heart for themselves, and then they talk to me about the deeper conversation with and who are inspired by them, and then it's just like domino effect, you see.
That's beautiful. And all of this thanks to singing, which is such a powerful, I as a
Yes.
singer know it as well, how powerful singing is. But now, why don't you tell our audience then, if, say, for example, they've never heard about singing meditation and they might have never really sung even before, how would you describe singing meditation to anyone who's completely new to it? And would you say someone who's never sung before, who doesn't have any experience in singing, could still go into these sessions, practice this form of healing and perhaps expression? And would you say they could still benefit from it? So I guess two questions. How would you describe singing meditation? And can someone who hasn't done singing before still benefit from it?
The singing meditations that I will offer, I'd like to put the focus on really like connecting to your sound. Yeah. So we're going to sing songs, and we're going to sing sounds in different languages. And it's not always going to be about a certain technique or a certain language or a certain culture. It's going to be universal. And it's really like the main point is going to be focusing on your sound, reconnecting to it, feel the power of the vibration of your sound, and be able to surrender to your sound and feel everything that you can benefit when you sing and when you express a sound. Yeah, everyone normally has a voice, even like whether you can sing or not, you can speak. So you have a voice. So you can definitely participate. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're a professional or not, it doesn't matter. It's really about reconnecting to your voice. And then maybe you're gonna feel stuff, and it's going to give you maybe some interest in developing that. Maybe, who knows? But it's really about connecting to your instrument and the power of your sound.
I guess also the power of your truth and your inner knowing, because as you say, voice is such a powerful tool to open up the closed doors.
Exactly.
Where we're stuck, where we're
exactly
lost, right?
Exactly.
So about what you're saying is we can truly benefit from it, whether we can sing or not, because we all have voices. We can express ourselves. It's all about self-expression, isn't it?
Exactly. It's really about what you're going to feel when you use the voice, rather than reaching a certain level. So we're not into that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So of course I'm gonna suggest some melodies and some sounds, but it's never about having it right or having it perfectly. It's always gonna be more about what you feel. Yeah, how relaxed, like how you're able to let go, and maybe feel some connection with the group, and just have that moment for yourself where you reconnect to your vibration. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Anna. I'd like to move on to the next question, which is, would you mind tell us a little bit more about the history of singing meditation, so singing mantras, and then a little bit of science behind it?
Yeah. Okay. So, what is a characteristic of what we're going to do is that we're going to repeat the lyrics a lot of time. Yeah. And this repetition is coming like from mantras. Yeah. And mantras, it's actually coming from the Buddhism and Hinduism. Yeah. And in their culture, they sing in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is a sacred language. Yeah. We say about Sanskrit that it's a language that the first people on earth were using to connect with God and the divine and the universe. Yeah. So this is what is said about it. So for that reason, it's a language that is charged in higher frequencies and very positive and healing frequencies. Yes. And when you sing in that language, it's going to help you. For me, any language, any language is very important and full of energy. Yeah. But that's just the history of mantras. Yeah. And when you sing in a language and you repeat it, you repeat the positive words, the positive frequencies, it has an effect on your mind. And the fact that you're going to repeat it, it's going to help relax the body. And so in Buddhism and Hinduism, they suggest in their practice to repeat the mantra 108 times per day for 40 days. Yeah. So you can really feel the benefit of the mantra in your body.
What would you say to someone
Energy.
who doesn't have the time or the energy to repeat mantras
Mhm.
so much every day? What would you say would be the sort of the immediate result after, I guess, couple of sessions of sitting with?
Yeah, because of course, when we're going to do the sessions, we're going to take the time to repeat them, but we're not doing sessions every day and maybe people don't have time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But this was just like to say that the repetition is very important. And that's the reason why we will repeat them so many times during the sessions. We're going to sing mantras and then there will be moments of silence before moving to the next mantra. And it's just going to be like alternate between song, singing, and silence. And you will notice by yourself that when we sing a certain mantra with an intention, the silence after is different. It's full of like high vibration and you can just relax in that silence, and it's very healing and very, very calming. Just like small practices that can help you put yourself more at peace in your day-to-day life. You don't need to do it like a clock every day, in order to benefit from it, Just a small session from time to time, if you are happy to participate, can help you already, like put a small step of a bit more release every day, a bit more peace, a bit more calm, facing the events with like staying centered. Yeah, so that can help with that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That's perfect. Question. I will start with giving our listeners a little bit more background to what my experience was with my first session with you, which was the first session for me ever of singing mantras in a class. And what I noticed, since I come from a background of a more silent guided meditation, I noticed a big difference between the two. And let me explain, because I think this could be very helpful for our viewers. What I found was that the silent guided meditation encourages the deep dive into the subconscious, whilst the singing meditation is almost opposite of bringing things out. So it feels almost as though it kind of felt like boxing a little bit. It felt like, you know, when you box and you bring all of this stuck energy out, and the
Yeah.
thoughts and the energies and the tension. That's what it felt like with singing the mantras in repetition. So when I finished the session with you, I felt this huge amount of release, which I think could be very beneficial for people who struggle with silence during meditation, because you know, you will find the result of release afterwards. But I am also really intrigued whether you can still achieve that amount of in-depth subconscious diving in during the singing meditation as you can within the silent meditation. What's your experience with it?
When you sing the mantra, actually, you sing it with a certain intention, and then you have your voice that is coming to really amplify the intention, and then you're going to feel the power of your voice. I would say mantra is more of an active, if I have to compare to the silence, where it's very receptive. Yeah, so you try and put yourself in a receptive mode. Yeah. Talking with your mind, calming your mind, making space to receive the information. And then mantra, you put an intention, and then you actively work on that intention. I mean, I don't like to use the word work because it doesn't have that calming energy. But I don't know how, by what word to replace it. But you see what I mean. You're active, yeah. And then after that, you are receptive during the silence after the sound. So it's like there's two dynamics to the mantra singing. You are active, and then after that, you feel the release, and then you can maybe receive some informations too. Well, and the silence meditation, you are receptive all the way through. I can say this about that.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's very insightful. And I guess this is precisely why these two meditations have different audience, I guess. Although I have to say, trying the singing meditation, I'll definitely continue, because I find that, I guess it depends on the mood you're in. When I go towards silent meditation, it's because I have the space to really tune in, right? But sometimes when I'm hectic and when I work and when I'm overwhelmed, it's actually easier to just bring things out and feel the clearance of it, the release of things. And I guess this is why these two meditations practices can be beneficial for people, for the same audience, but depending on their mood and their state they're in, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you're going to need silence. Sometimes you're going to be willing to express and sing some sounds. It's really about life, you know. Sometimes you want some chocolate, sometimes you want an apple, sometimes you you know.
Absolutely. I love the
And everything is
comparison.
available to you for you to use whenever you feel like it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Anna. I guess my
You're
next question will
welcome.
be about, also referring to conversation we privately had this week. You told me this beautiful story of how you were introduced to singing meditation through your mom and the
Yeah.
effect it had on you. I was wondering if you could share this experience with us, particularly the effect it had on you, because it was quite
Yeah.
surprising. And also, through saying this story, would you mind telling us why you think this practice is still fairly niche?
Yeah, my experience is a bit funny with mantras. So basically, as I said in the beginning, my mom started to get really spiritual when I was a teenager. And so I was accompanying her to some conferences sometimes, you know, and the title was very general. So you couldn't tell it would be about sacred singing, mantras, you know, it was about like how to put more positive energy in your life or change your life. You know, you wouldn't expect to start chanting mantras. And so it was like, I think it was a couple, it was a lady and a man. And then they started to explain the power of words, how the vibration of word has such an impact. You know, for example, saying to someone, "You look amazing," and you don't look bad. You know, it means the same, but for some reason, maybe "you look amazing" sounds a bit more, and you don't look bad thank you, but it's not super vibrant. You can feel it just by hearing it. You don't need to have learned science about that. You just feel it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for saying that. Beautiful.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think it's so important. And so they're starting to explain like about all of that with the words and the sound. And then they came up with a mantra in Sanskrit. And they were like, okay, so we're gonna explore like start singing a mantra. Yeah, and that explained a bit of the history and everything. And then that was funny because I was a teenager. I think I was 14 or something like that, in that teenage time where you feel always a bit awkward about everything. And before they started singing the mantra, they opened the door. I think maybe there were like between around 40, 50 people in the room. They opened the door and they said, we invite you to explore chanting this mantra with us and be curious about it. But if you feel that like this is too strange for you, or this doesn't resonate with you, the door is there. Feel free to just walk out of the room. It's going to be totally fine for us. Yeah. And so they started chanting the mantra, in Sanskrit. And, the 14 years old me in the room was like, oh my God, what is this? If my friend would see me here, that would be such a shame. Like, I need to get out of the room. And then I think pretty much half of the room went out. I was seeing everyone going, and then I was looking at my mom, hoping that we would leave. But my mom was fully into it. She was like singing the mantra, and I was like, oh my God, I am stuck here. And then when we left, I was relieved. I was like, my God, this is so weird. And then from that day, actually, every day when my mom would drive me and my brothers to school, she would sing the mantra. And I was like, oh no, this is so awkward. And then after 2 weeks of singing mantra in the cars every day, for some reason, I could feel that something had changed. I could not explain what, My teenagehood was a bit hard. I think that some people can relate to that. When you feel bad for a reason every day, you feel awkward, yeah? And after 2 weeks, I started to feel a bit lighter. There was no reason for it because nothing had changed. And then when I thought of it, I was like, look, actually, the only thing that has changed is us singing the mantra in the car every morning. And then I was like, oh my God.
This thing is working. This is the power of the
Yeah.
words. So
And
even though it's
then,
happening in the
yeah,
subconscious, it still works with you. It still works its magic on you. Even though you might
exactly.
not see it, you might not see the I guess that when we speak of frequencies, when we speak of the power, the energy of words and the language we use, right? We
Mhm.
are speaking of frequency, of high frequency. That means physics. That means seeing frequency waves, right? The sound waves.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we can't see them with our bare eye. That's why it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
believe in the magic of these things, in the
Mm-hmm.
workings of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Mm-hmm.
science proves it, and then the soul catches up with it. The soul then goes, why do I feel better? This is beautiful.
Yes,
This is beautiful.
yes, yes. And then from there, I started to be a bit more curious about it. And, step by step, with life is always giving you some opportunities. And then, yeah, and then eventually I fell into it.
Amazing. Anna, I wanted to thank you so much for the fact that you mentioned how important the power of the words is, because I guess this is precisely how, in what the foundation of this practice is the
Mhm,
power of the words, which in itself, I think as a Western society, we're beginning to understand the power of the way we speak to ourselves in our
mhm,
subconscious. So if you say to yourself in the morning, I appreciate you. Beautiful affirmations, the self-loving, self-assuring affirmations
Yeah.
every day of, I
Mm-hmm.
am well, all is well, I have everything I need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. When we speak these things out loud, they really change the way we see the world around us because
Yeah,
we change it within. And this is precisely what
absolutely.
we're working with here, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Anna. How would you say, because you spoke about how this event was in the past very niche and very sort of underground to the point where, you know, half of the room left.
Mhm.
Would you say there is a progress in the way we're seeing these events, these practices? Would you say we're going
Mhm.
towards the right direction where it feels more open and
Mhm.
more sort of accessible to a wider
Mhm.
audience?
This is a beautiful time of change, I feel, because more and more people are starting to feel that they may not be at the right place. You know, I think there are more and more burnout at the moment. It's very, you know, and the lockdown is helping and not helping because people are like forced to face themselves, and then they realize, oh my god, actually this job, I don't like it, or maybe I'm enjoying spending more time at home, so maybe I should change how I live, you know. um
I agree
and
with you.
because
Mhm.
people are starting to f- like people are forced to face themselves more, then people start to get curious about new things, about new ways of living. I hear more and more people talking about mantras. If you go like on Instagram, it's crazy like how you can see people being interested in eating healthier, being positive with yourself, like with your inner dialogue, loving yourself, having healthier relationship. Yeah, yoga is becoming like such a trend.
I wanted to add to something that you mentioned about lockdown being helpful and not helpful at the same time.
Mhm,
I completely resonate with it,
mhm,
with this sort of inner truth that I believe is the case.
mhm,
And I think the reason why it could be helpful and could not be helpful is because we are not used to being in silence. We are constantly
mhm,
looking for distractions outside, which means when we are faced with silence, we don't quite know what to do with the silence. Then we spiral into this unknown of, well, I didn't know there was so much hiding in me. I didn't know there was so much upset hiding or living in me, inside of me. And this is where these practices such as yoga, any practice that focuses on the breath, focuses on quieting the mind and bringing it into the present moment, are so powerful during this time. And I'm really speaking here from experience because I remember when the lockdown started, I was actually struggling with depression and with not being happy in life, not knowing how
mhm,
to overcome this sadness and the obstacles I was finding on my way. And then I
mhm,
started to meditate, and my life
mhm,
changed entirely because I knew how to use the silence I was faced with
mhm,
in a very productive, self-affirming and building, character building way. I guess
mhm.
this is I guess I'm saying all of this just to inform people that silence doesn't have to be an enemy. Silence can be a
Yeah,
place of growth, and that's why
silence is
the
beautiful.
challenge that you're faced with can truly, you can turn it around and make it into this beautiful new chapter of your life, which I certainly have experienced for myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love silence. When you decide to just sit down and embrace it, wow, I love it. It's so nourishing. It can help you regenerate. Like when you surrender to the silence, that's where you get your ideas from.
That's
Yeah, that's how
beautiful.
you can channel and everything, you know?
This is how this platform started. It's
Mhm.
through creating silence and space in my life, or perhaps the forced space
Mhm.
from the outside world,
Yeah.
that this platform was
Yeah.
created from. So I guess this Love Tribe as a community could be a beautiful
Mhm.
example for people to understand that if you go into a silent place of listening to what it is that makes you happy, what it is you want,
Mhm.
what's your purpose in life as well. That's so important. So many people feel like
Mhm.
they don't want to live up to their I guess their dreams because they're scared they might not
Mhm.
reach them, right? So they don't even
Mhm.
open the door. from silence you can truly birth something beautiful into life,
Yeah.
and it's you are so infinite and endless in your creation.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And you know, sometimes I think a lot of people can be scared of silence because it's what is going to confront them to make the point in their life. Okay, where am I at? If you realize you're not fully aligned to your heart, that can be a bit hard. And maybe it's going to be the first time that you're going to make space for yourself, and maybe you're going to cry, and it's totally okay. You just let yourself cry until you feel the calm again. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's fine. And then there's always going to be people around. You're never alone. Then the silence is going to give you the idea to contact the person. Maybe the person is going to tell you, oh, why not go to yoga class? You're going to feel refreshed. Or, you know, don't be scared of the silence, and you can always go at your own rhythm. You know, it's step by step, and maybe you realize you're not at the right time, at the right place for yourself. It's okay,
And
and you're gonna do the move when you're ready.
we need to practice kindness and compassion starting with ourselves, because this is where,
Yes.
if we begin here, we're going to be able to take it farther into the outside world. And
Mm-hmm.
Anna, thank you so much for this beautiful, beautiful conversation. You've touched on so many subjects that I'm very truly passionate about. So thank you for
Mm.
opening the Pandora box here for us and being able to discuss all of this. This is very exciting. I guess my last
Mhm.
question to you today would be, say there is a person out there who's intrigued about the singing meditation practice,
Mhm. Mhm.
but feel apprehensive about it. What would you say to them to perhaps convince them to join, to try?
Yeah. You don't need to believe to try it. Just your curiosity is enough. Yeah. Give it a try. You never know what can happen. Yeah.
Sister Soul, thank you so much. What a beautiful, beautiful answer. I always say that the fact that we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
So thank you so
Exactly.
much for reassuring, for reaffirming that. Anna, this has been a beautiful conversation.
Mm.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today, for opening up to our public. I
Mhm.
believe people will find this very insightful and hopefully very inspirational to also go into a
Mhm.
silent space to create and
Mhm.
give themselves a chance for a new beginning. Um,
Thank
I guess
you.
lastly, where can we find you, Anna?
So I have my artist page, which is Anna Winkin, both Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. You can also listen to my music on all the streaming platforms.
Amazing.
And then for my workshops and my meditations and my lessons, this is Voix Sacrée in French. Yeah, so I've been mainly doing it in French at the moment because I was in Brussels the last 2 years. But
Absolutely.
I
We
will
will make sure to
slowly
tag all
slap.
of those links in the description.
Yes,
We will make sure
yes,
that people can
and
find your links.
yeah. Thank you. And then I will start, don't worry, because at the moment, maybe everything will be in French, but I will slowly start to post in English too on Voix Sacrée. Yes, but we will post the link. Yeah.
Perfect. Anna, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. Thank you so
Mm,
much to our beautiful audience for watching and listening. We hope you found
mhm.
this helpful and insightful. And
Yeah.
have a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you,
Many blessings.
Natalia. Thank you for the invite. Take care.
Thank you.